I was born in Scotland in 1964, the eldest of three. We lived in a housing estate in East Ayrshire, and I have many happy memories growing up. My mother and father did not attend church, as my mum grew up being forced to attend a weekly service with her family, and she did not want us to be forced to do the same. She wished for us to make up our own minds about religion. However, my grandmother did attend church every Sunday, and as a child, I would often stay with my granny and asked to go with her to the Sunday service. I would sometimes attend Sunday school and particularly recall enjoying the readings at the service. I grew up with a mixture of religions and beliefs with my mother and father's family. We had a lot of family holidays and gatherings, and I used to love to listen to everyone's stories and points of view. I was an extremely sensitive and emotional child, and I felt misunderstood and sometimes forgotten about because of my quiet nature. I would always have my granny's support, and I would often stay with her at the weekends and sometimes during the week. My granny Hannah always talked about her encounters with spirit and dreams or other experiences she had. This did not frighten me, as my gran chatted away in a natural way, a way that brought no fear and allowed me to question later that my gifts that I had realised I had at a very young age, although I'm very sure my granny knew. I grew up loving all religions, and when I overheard others talking about Catholics or Jews or Protestants, I would wonder why we couldn't all just get along. I didn't feel that I wanted to follow any religion myself, and in fact I would have called myself an atheist. In the late 80s, I found myself questioning my own existence. I'd entered an abusive relationship, and I did not know how to get out of. I couldn't express to anyone how I felt or what was going on. I would walk home from work talking to a higher source in my mind, asking for guidance and help. I cannot recall if I knew who I was chatting to or not, but I felt a calm reassurance inside me that I would eventually be all right. I left the relationship and returned home with nothing but the clothes on my back. Soon after, my gran passed over. She told me she would be going on a good day and not to be frightened, and she would still be with me. And the sun was out, and it was such a glorious day. I felt a tremendous peace at gran dying. Although I was incredibly sad, I knew she had left to help me and guide me from the higher side of life. I was asked by one of my friends to attend a spiritist church, and I thought it would be a laugh. We used to sit at the back giggling, and when it was time to meditate, I didn't quite understand what was going on, and I was always with one eye open. After a while, I started to get messages from spirit. At first, I did not understand them, and then my gran started coming forward with information I had not even told her. This was of great comfort, and I did feel spirit around me a great deal, and at times I would ask them to leave as I felt scared. Then in 1992, my mum took a massive heart attack, and after just 6 weeks in a coma, she died. During the weeks leading up to her death, I would have my mum's spirit with me at home. Whilst preparing dinner, I used to read to mum and sing. I would have my mother at home with me while I was preparing dinner. Spirit. I used to read to mum, sing as she lay in her bed in a coma in the hospital. And I fell out with Dad over this, as he did not believe me that she could hear and understand me. For me, though, this was a very deeply spiritual connection. And I later read The Diving Bell and The Butterfly, and it explained everything I had experienced with Mum. The night before Mum died, I left the hospital with my husband, Peter, and he drove me to Culzean Castle near Ayr, and we sat looking out at the sea. I felt very at peace, and I had booked a spiritualist reading some time before, and as it turned out, by the time the appointment came around, my mum had passed. At the reading, I was given a message from Mum to go to her room, and at the top of her wardrobe there was something in a brown envelope. And Peter and I found it, and I took it downstairs to open it, and it was a beautiful photo of Culzean Castle with a view we had been sitting at the night before Mum's passing. I spent many years sitting in circle, developing my mediumship at the Old Mill Road in Kilmarnock. When the church minister died many years later, I had a feeling I wanted to move on, and I went around to many other spiritualist churches in Ayrshire and sometimes beyond. I sat in circle with Billy McFadden at his home and Katrina Murphy's circle in Bonnyton Community Centre. After Katrina died in 2014, I did not train with any other mediums. A circle is a group of people who come together to develop. In this case, the development was for mediumship. We would be taken through individual and group exercises by the medium, and this would increase each member's communication with spirit and to trust in inner guidance and guides that came forwards. I kept going to the circle as I was getting more confirmation each visit, and my awareness was heightening. The feelings were a bit like coming home and understanding who I was and why I was currently here on earth. I have had many messages and signs and visits from the angels and spirit guides. However, the one that sticks out the most is when I attended a spiritualist church in New Dawn in Shortleys Primary School. During the service, I sat beside my friend Paul. There were two mediums up on the platform. I started to feel a change in the energy and in and around me, and I sat in sadness about my friend and contemplating her illness and sending her my healing thoughts and love. I started seeing bright white lights around the room, and then two white angels with expansive wings appeared in front of my eyes and appeared to be coming out from the mediums. I nudged my friend Paul to tell him what I could see, and he told me he could not see anything. I told him I knew this, as the angels were only showing themselves to me. Jean was getting ready to leave us, and my friend Jean passed that year on Christmas Eve, exactly six weeks after she went into hospital. I have trained as a Drew, yoga and meditation teacher, and I also have completed Reiki training, becoming a Reiki master teacher and a Yushi and Karuna. I've also worked with the angels for over 30 years and trained as an angel healing teacher. My Drew yoga teacher training started after I had attended a few Drew workshops, and in one of them they announced about the 4-year course, and if I wanted to join the course, you could go up to the desk and pick up an application form. My heart burst with excitement, and I thought, oh my goodness, is this going to be possible? However, I applied, and even though my circumstances at the time seemed impossible, I felt guided by spirit and the angels, and I wrote my application out. And I asked the angels if I could pay this. I asked if I could pay this course up. To my surprise, I got it accepted and attended a 4-year course at the School of Therapeutics in Glasgow at the weekends, and I was lucky enough to get my workplace to agree shift swaps for me to attend this course. This was a life-changing experience for me in many ways. At the end of the course, it was announced about the 2-year Drew meditation teacher's course, and this course was in Cumbernauld. Again, everything was sorted for me to attend this course, and as if by magic, I attended it. It was a major achievement for me in my life, and throughout the course, my tutors would call me an angel. Surprisingly to me, I had no idea why. I have always had other women ask me to train them to do what I do, and also felt myself that I could do more for others if I trained to teach others about the angels, about card readings and about the angels. I felt I wanted to offer certificated courses, so in 2013 I seen an advert on Facebook about Level 1 Angel Healing registered course, which did not appear to be like any others I'd seen. I signed up and completed this course over a weekend in March 2013. With the teacher Agnes, and she helped me believe in myself and to trust and allow the angels to flow through me, and that it was safe for me to do so. It felt really empowering to be an angel healing teacher, therapist. The fact that there were so many people, especially women, who were interested in angels. I completed Level 2 Angel Healing Practitioner's course in October the same year. I started to learn so much about the angels and the archangels and the female archangels, the Archaea. I'm also now an angel healing teacher, so I can now do what I set out to do many years before. I continue to learn and grow with the angels flow through me and allow them to know me, and I no longer shy away. My understanding of the angels is that they come to help people transform and change. There are very many different angels, and they come to offer help in whichever way they can. You must allow them to work with you for the highest good of all. And by asking the angels for help and guidance you require, they come to offer peace to those who are grieving. They support you when you're going through change and transition. And I work with the angels as I feel they have a lovely vibration, and I feel this is part of my calling in life, to show other people there's another way. I feel that the angels work through me, and they are me, and me or them are one. I was aware of the angels from a very young age. However, I suppressed this knowing because of the fear of being different. I never wanted to stand out, so I hid until I could no longer do so. I now embrace my many gifts and see them as a blessing in my life. I have many encounters with angels and angel confirmations in my life. And one of these stories, which happened to be in my life, it was about my young niece, whom we lost contact with of the age of 1 due to a family separation, which caused much distress. I felt hopeless and started to call on my angels every day and every night. When my niece was 4 years old, I started to have contact with her again, and this was a highly emotional experience. My niece would tell me that Malachi had chatted to her and he would visit her, although she did not say a gender. I asked, what does Malachi look like? And she said, short blonde hair, the same as yours, and flies from my home to yours throughout the night. At the time, my youngest niece lived 20 minutes away by car. I chatted to my friend at work, and we looked up the name Malachi and the meaning, which translated as Hebrew for angel messenger. We were absolutely gobsmacked, and I felt so thankful that this little girl was now going to be held safely by the angels, and this was my confirmation. Jushu is a system of natural healing known as Reiki. It's a form of healing and the spiritual awakening, spiritual life force, which a Jushu Reiki master teacher attunes you to. Once attuned, the Reiki flows through your hands and vibrate with the vibrational energy to either yourself or your client, plant, pet, food or water. And Karuna Reiki is translated to mean any action that is taken to diminish suffering to others, and could translate as compassionate action. When the individuals experience enlightenment, they report that all these beings are known as one. Therefore, it is a natural extended compassionate action, or karuna, to everyone without distinction, because they are all one. Karuna is motivating quality of enlightened beings who are all receptive and working to the end all suffering on earth. They continually send out unlimited amount of healing energy and guidance to us, but all are receptive to it. I have had a higher force guiding me since the late 1980s. I believe there is a divine plan and divine order for everything, and that we must ask, receive and act. Although we may be guided to work with others to assist us in our journey, we have all the answers inside us. You may have no idea why your heart or soul is calling you in a certain direction. However, if you allow and just be in the flow, you are sure as hell to find out why. I have daily practices, and when I wake up each day, I express my gratitude for being alive, to the angels for taking good care of me and my loved ones, to the planet Earth and for all those who live on it, for the guidance I will receive throughout the day, and for the motivation to keep the work up that I do. I have meditation and yoga practice that I do every day, and I eat a balanced, plant-based diet. I am energetically aware of the collective consciousness, and I send out light and the angels every day, first of all for myself, then Mother Earth and the world. I am more aware than ever how the world requires to change. The world is awakening and transformation has begun. I walk for miles every day, and I like to garden and read. I love nature and the animals and the insects alike, and I like to connect and chat with other people. I spend time with my 70-year-old father every day. With global lockdown, Peter and I have become more peaceful and more centred, more aligned, more grateful than ever. We are thankful for every day for these gifts. As I embarked on my teaching journey with Drew Yoga, I had no idea how life-changing it would be. I was working 60 hours a week with teenagers who were very troubled. Some of them who were suicidal. Most of these young people had experienced trauma and abuse from a very incredible age. incredibly young age, which had a huge impact on them growing up in society that labelled them as trouble. I had a different perspective on this, having had similar feelings myself growing up, and especially in my teen years where it appeared to be worse. I knew these young people were misunderstood and required an outlet for these feelings that ran so deep. They needed healing just as I did, and I realised why I had an interest in working with these children, especially ones that had suffered trauma, neglect or abuse. My training has a huge impact on the work I do with children and teenagers, and I'm so at peace and full of fun, and the young people pick on that peaceful, fun, loving nature. There is a saying that some people can feel your energy without you speaking a word, and they feel your vibration as you enter the room. I have the highest and best intentions for all my young people, and they feel that even though I've never said it. I would tend to have a relaxed way of dealing with the children by being able to act in a crisis instead of reacting, and if and when I needed to. I have awareness and a higher understanding of the young people. And I feel my training as a holistic therapist has a huge impact in the way I work with children. I come from a place of an open, loving heart. I am at peace with who I am. I see the child in a holistic sense, the whole being. In the past, before my training, I would have reacted being quite anxious and afraid and scared even. I would not have known what to say or what to do, and I would have possibly have judged. When I work with the children, when I worked with young people who were one step away from the jail, I worked with a young man who had a history of violence. At the project then, we had a company people carrier. However, sometimes it was out with other young people on activities. I would take this young man to and from work, to his football training, which was a good half hour away, and in my Hyundai Coupe then. We built up a good relationship. Myself and my car never got hurt. In fact, this young man asked if I could adopt him. Only myself and another 2 workers would drive him in our cars, as the rest of the staff felt threatened by this young man. In fact, a few of them had their tyres slashed and their cars, I'm sorry I'm laughing, I shouldn't be laughing, their cars damaged. I recall on another occasion where I would drive the young people, so all the young people, to the time capsule to go swimming in Cumbernauld. I would go in swimming as well, and I would pack everyone in the people carrier, usually at the weekends, music blasting, us singing away, generally having fun. I never had one bit of trouble with the young people. Plus, I loved the dance music, and I wanted to be with the young people doing fun activities, and not everyone that worked with the children wanted to do this, sadly. I used to say why me, and now I say why not me. I could not understand from a young age why I could never seem to be do anything right, or why my life was filled with so much trauma and grief. I now know why I came here, and I am here to bring change to the world, to wake people up, to be the change I wish to see for the young people. I know I survived as I have a purpose in my life. I feel truly blessed to have the life I have, and I have so much love and joy inside me, and I want only to pass this little bit of magic on. I have to share it with the world. And I want only to pass on this little bit of magic. I have to share this with the world. Please do not waste any time doing what your soul is calling you to do. Do it now. Blessings of love from my angels to you, Aileen. Thank you.